there's also the hypocrisy there, I think, that feeds into the rhetoric, exactly the language that we're seeing there, the language even that Charlie Kirk uses.
It's been a whirlwind here the past couple of days. Welcome back to Moose on Loose. My name's David. Today we've got more home invasions. We're also going to focus in on Charlie Kirk and this situation because it just keeps evolving to something else. We have the woke left being completely unhinged. We've got university professors writing deplorable things, Canadian government officials writing deplorable things, the US government saying that they're going to ban Canadians who are saying this stuff. We got a whole bunch of stuff here. Let's jump into this. So starting this one off here, we've got global news. Going to be doing some layoffs here in BC and Alberta. And while we're talking about global news, we have this one here. Ben Mulroney looks like he's going to be the new host of the West Block. This is an interesting move. We've got this one. We've got Ontario Police Chief calling out Mark Carney and saying Canada's basically overrun. The system doesn't work.
The system is broken. And as your police chief, I am telling you, it needs to be fixed right now, and it needs to be fixed urgently.
So that was just the end of the press conference here. But when you have a police chief saying that, where's Sean Fraser? He made some announcements today saying that there's going to be bail reform and this, that, and the other. I'm sure he's going to get all of that done from the comfort of his couch. So moving into the Charlie Kirk situation, it's blowing up in America, blowing up in Canada here. We've got this from Toronto Sun. Canadians celebrate Charlie Kirk's end, may be banned from the United States. The U.S. State Department is keeping track of people inside and outside of their country who are applauding the conservative influencers' end. We've got this one here, University of Toronto professor, this lady, sent home by the dean after posting insensitive and concerning comments hours after Charlie Kirk's end. She needs to be fired. Not sent home for a day. Because what she said is this: pew-pewing is honestly too good for so many of you fascists. C-word. This is a university professor writing this. Fired and never hired again by anyone. Just think about this. This is someone who's shaping the minds of Canadians. This is someone who are teaching young adults how to think. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous person to have in this position. This person should never be able to work with students, kids, anyone ever again. There's quite the eruption of posts here. Rachel Gilmore came out with her insensitive comments. Now she's completely locked down her account. We've got this website here. It's called charliesmword.com, and scrolling down Rachel Gilmore right at the top here with her comments. And this is a list of just everyone who's wrote something insensitive. You got this guy, Jeremiah Farmer. NBC posted this, the whole event with him, and then he replied, "We need to find people with better aim." He posted this because they didn't know if Charlie had made it or not yet. Like, this is disgusting. If you scroll down, it's just person after person, what their Instagram, their email addresses. You know, this guy here, Benjamin Asprey, adjunct facility, PhD, Northwestern University. His comments: he died as he lived a throbbing hemorrhoid in the rectum of civil society. Like, disgusting. You know, they got all this information here, email address, and it's person after person. You can see somebody's been busy putting all of these in here. And this doesn't even have the university professor I just showed you. Got Billboard Chris also posting the university professor, putting the number to call the university directly. Look at this, access denied. They shut down the page. The university took the page down. We are seeing a major rift here because the left are not being respectful. They're being disgusting monsters. I mean, look at this. So there's a guy here who rides in on a scooter. You can't see him. He's like right where this sign is. And he starts saying F Charlie Kirk to a bunch of people at a vigil. And this guy gets his butt pounded.
This guy's gonna get some.
So I'm not going to play the video, but this guy, he gets pounded by about 20 people. I mean, don't be stupid. Like, this is the rule in life. Don't be stupid. And don't be insensitive. We've got Jasmine sharing this one here. So we've got the Minister of Families in Wab Kinu's government had to share this about Charlie Kirk. She promptly deleted it following Wab's statement and condolences. So Wab Kinu did come out with a nice statement saying that we need to have peace. But his Minister of Families said Charlie Kirk was an R-word, a xenophobic, a trans-Islam, white, I can't read these words, mouthpiece who made millions of dollars inciting H-word in this country, whether it was the G-word denial or the, I can't read most of this stuff, but it's a nasty statement here from Nanani Fontaine. She needs to be fired. Like, you can't have people like this in our government. We need to have level-headed people running the country, not insensitive buffoons. And this one's getting shared around a lot too. It says this is what high school's teachers in BC are teaching their students, and they're putting, funny mustache guy and Donald Trump. Like, this is the problem. You can't have radical people teaching and shaping children's minds. the youth's mind. You just can't. Otherwise, you get what we've seen here, where you have students, and we're going to get to that, but they had 2 false people in custody. Now they're after a 3rd person, which seems very much it is a student who did this. But first, we've got this Legal Aid BC employee fired for posting deeply insensitive Charlie Kirk video. So in the video, she says, Charlie Kirk got pew pew, now he's dead, ha 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 ha. Short selfie begins, finally, someone with a pew pew, which is almost everybody in the effing states, grew a pair and effing went and pew pewed somebody on the right side. Thank you, can we keep this up, please? So I've seen this video, it's disgusting, I'm not going to play it. As you can see, I had to censor a lot of it even to have it on here. If you want to watch the video, this is what it is here. Yeah, like the Wicked Witch of the West. It doesn't end there. Look at this from Cult Montreal. Charlie Kirk died as he lived, propagating H-word myths about marginalizing groups in our society. He was a profiteer and architect of America's increasingly V-word culture war. May you reap what you sow. To hell with Charlie Kirk. Holy smokes, Cult Montreal. This publication needs to be removed. I mean, what do we've got here? The Liberal government has been funding these rats. $46,000 back in 2020. $12,800 back in 2021. Cult Montreal. $13,900 2022. $7,600 2024. We want to talk about where these problems in society come from. It's places like Cult Montreal writing deplorable garbage like this. And the worst part is the Liberal government is funding this crap hole. We got Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announcing the state will investigate any teacher celebrating the intentional ending of Charlie Kirk, and says serious consequences are on the table. They're not messing around down there. So with that, they have a good idea who this person is now. The FBI has high resolution image they haven't released. They had 2 false arrests yesterday. Now they have actual footage of the bad guy.
Last night, we were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements starting at 11:52 a.m. This subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwell, up to the roof, across the roof. After we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We are working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media, and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we are confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe and moves this process appropriately. He's going to climb off the edge.
They got footage of the guy here climbing off this. He drops from this roof here, and he hurts his ankle, which is an important piece of information, because if you find someone now who has a hurt ankle, well, there you go. So he picks up his pew-pew. He runs out of here. He tosses his pew-pew into the forest. The cops follow him this direction. They look at some other footage. They were able to get this doorbell footage. They were able to find the pew-pew. They're tracking his direction now. He's coming from the left side just over here. And you can see he's limping because, well, he jumped off the roof. So he hobbles across here. This is the footage that the police released, just a couple of photos. Yeah, so they have even higher resolution stuff they're not sharing, but he has a backpack here. What they're talking about on CNN right now, I don't want to put on here, but basically they're talking about how, based on the event with Trump, that guy was able to put all of the pieces of the pew-pew, break them down and put them in a backpack, and that's what this guy likely did. He had all those, the entire pew-pew in the backpack in pieces, and then reassembled it on top of the roof. We're getting people taking these images and now running them through AI and turning them into video. This is crazy, because basically it kind of fills in the gaps, right? Like all this is just AI here. There's only 2 photos and it just kind of pieced it together, these 2 photos. So where we are now is people on 4chan, which is like a underground forum, have taken that footage from the FBI. Then they found a guy on SoundCloud, I believe this is SoundCloud, with this title here, and we'll read that out. Charlie Kirk ended at 31. That's the name of a song that this guy has on here. And that guy is this guy. And then they're overlaying it with those photos from the FBI. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs, because that looks like that matches up pretty darn close. So this guy's name is Sky Valadez. I'm not saying he's the one who's done it. That's just what people are speculating right now. I don't think this bad guy is getting away with this. We got this from Juno News. CBC defends H-word expert who claimed Charlie Kirk called for queer people to be ended. This is actually coming from the CBC.
What concerns does that raise for you?
Yeah, I've had a little bit of time to look, and it is very disconcerting what we're seeing, especially from Trump and his supporters as well, where they are calling him a martyr. There are some in online spaces that are calling for further violence, retaliatory violence. So I really fear that this will lead actually to an escalation, as the left in particular is vilified in many of these narratives, and quite explicitly in an ex post comments by Trump from Trump yesterday.
I mean, look what's happened in the streets. Doesn't matter if it's America or Canada. It's always the left that are the ones that are angry and dangerous. It's not the right. This is coming from someone, Barbara Perry, supposedly some expert from the Center of H-word Bias and Extremism director. What a joke.
Really did put the blame fairly, soundly at the feet of the left and of liberals, and by extension, Democrats as well.
I just pause you on that, because I was going to play an excerpt from that message. It was direct, sort of a video message that he recorded in the Oval Office, and began to sort of calm the waters, or at least to speak out in condolences, but then it really did swing very quickly back to political discourse. Let's listen to.
What is she smiling about there? Like, what is this smile for? What this is, what I don't even know what to say.
It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence.
Trump goes on to give a message here where the left are comparing Charlie to funny mustache guys from WW2 and all sorts of other bad people.
This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible. This is what's given rise to some today, Barbara, saying they're concerned about payback or additional political violence. Again, what is your reaction and concern about what that presidential message may indeed incite?
Yeah, it really irks me, and it really does concern me, because it's very much in line with Trump's politics of vengeance, if you will, punishing the enemies. We've seen it from Trump in terms of job loss and investigations and mass arrests and deportations, that sort of thing. But there's also the hypocrisy there, I think, that feeds into the rhetoric, right, where he's talking about the polarizing rhetoric and the vilification, which is very much, laid at his feet in terms of exactly the language that we're seeing there. The language even that Charlie Kirk uses, vilifying particular groups, talking about the Democrats, for example, as, and I quote, standing for everything that God hates, claiming that, queer people are defective and dangerous and should be executed. I mean, that's sort of polarizing language that contributes to this environment, this loss of civility, and encourages violence directed towards the enemy, whatever the stripe. And we are seeing this from both sides.
No, we're seeing it straight from this side. I would love for you to play that clip. I've never seen that clip before, where Charlie was calling for queers to be removed from existence. What is this garbage on the CBC? They're just putting up any sort of crap they want. This isn't journalism. This is despicable. For context, Professor Barbara Perry has pushed over 300 plus H-word groups, claimed in Canada for over half a decade without ever disclosing the content of her research for public scrutiny. Despite this, her government-funded list has influenced liberal government policy. People digging it up. There she is. PhD, Barbara Perry, spreading lies on the CBC. Barbara needs to resign. Yeah, sickening CBC. Professional grifter and gaslighter. Canadian taxpayers' dollars at work. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. We are all paying like $50 a year for this crap. This isn't journalism. This is propaganda. In contrast, here we've got a gay conservative man talking to Charlie. What's his response? Does he want him ended?
I'm a gay conservative, and I just want to ask you, what do you have to say for people like me who kind of feel like, I guess it's kind of hard for gay conservatives because there's not a lot of us. So like, what do you have to say to other gay people who need to realize like they do have a choice?
Yeah, first of all, welcome to the conservative movement. I don't think you should introduce yourself just based on your sexual attractions.
No, I agree. Because
that's not who you are.
I like to be thought of as a person, and
for sure, you are a complete human being, and I'm sure you treat people well, and you're studying something. So I want to get away with this idea that you're gay anything. I just think that we have gone a long way in the negative direction in this country, where we act as if the most important part of your identity is what you do in the bedroom. it doesn't mean.
Yeah, that's just it. I've said that so many times where you got the left trying to inflate something based on what happens in the bedroom when nobody cares. The right doesn't care. We do not care if you're gay or you're straight, whatever. We don't care. We don't want gangsters in the streets. We want our economy booming. We don't care what happens behind closed doors.
Not much to me, but if you ask from a perspective as a Christian, I don't agree with that lifestyle, but politics is about addition and multiplication. I imagine you agree with a lot of what we talk about.
Absolutely.
Right? Strong borders, strong country, and for that, we welcome you into the conservative movement.
Thank you.
Great response by Charlie. Did that seem like someone who wants to get this guy ended? I don't think so. Did Barbara Perry glaze over that clip? With all that, we got Charlie Kirk being transported on Air Force One. You can see JD Vance at the front here. This is just... This is heartbreaking stuff. I mean, you can see at the end of the video here on the left side, Charlie's wife is back here kind of holding her face. It's just, she's right back here. This is what the left is celebrating. Like, it's just his wife in the background covering her mouth. It's heartbreaking. Moving back over to some Canadian news, we got Durham police take down suspect after another home invasion and carjacking in Bowmanville last night. Muhammad Rahman, age 21 from Toronto, and 16-year-old male from Toronto are charged with several offenses: robbery, offensive weapon, theft of motor vehicle, possession of property obtained by crime over 5,000 times 2, dangerous operation of a conveyance, break and enter, commit dwelling house, and disguise with intent. How about 100 years in jail?
And more and we make sure that they're aware that they don't want to drop that one and just sort of further people and that we have on the thing in Congress. There one G-Wagon looks like he's leaving the lot now. There's a sedan is staying where it was. G-Wagon is northbound coming to McNichol. Coming out of the lot. It looks like he's stopped right now.
Good job, police. Unfortunately, they probably won't be able to keep these guys in jail. We got to deport these people. They have to get them the heck out of our country. We need to elect a government that's willing to deport or jail criminals. We should be putting them in work jails so that they make money for us. We should have someone very smart figure out a system, copy what they did in El Salvador, and get them working and making us money in jail. Put them in there for 50 years and we'll get a lot of value from these pieces of garbage.